Shalom and welcome back to this week's latest installation of a Bisseleh Torah. We find ourselves in the fourth book of the Torah, the penultimate book in the Pentateuch, which is called Bamidbar, Numbers in English. Numbers is all about getting a census, getting a hold of how many people were in the desert. Bamidbar does not mean numbers, does not mean a census. Bamidbar means a desert. So what is the difference between the two? The gulf is immense. Bamidbar is about you. It's about me. It's about the Israelites walking through the desert and finding themselves newly freed slaves, but grasping their own self and learning to use their own resources to find who they really are at their core. It's a reflection of who we are in our time, in our day. We should see ourselves as if we were those sojourners, Bamidbar, in the desert. Rabbi Menachem Mendel of Kotz makes the observation that we need to see ourselves as vessels that are in process of becoming filled. You know well that you can't take a filled vessel and put anything in it. But an empty vessel, lots can be lodged in it. And a desert is very much like that. A desert is where all things become possible. Nothing is given, but all things are possible, because just beneath the desert sands or the rocks, where it appears that nothing can be growing or alive, the place thrums with life. That's what we look for. Not in the desert, but the desert of our lives. We should see ourselves very much as that. In the Kabbalah, we call it bitul hayesh, a negation of the self, a negation of the ego. When we see ourselves as empty vessels, searching for truth, searching for meaning, searching for growth, searching for learning, we become those empty vessels where we aggregate into ourselves so much more than what we could if we know everything, if we've discovered the meaning of life, if we've discovered basically everything that there is to know in life. We have already learned. What's the point? In the Talmud it says growth or death. Growth or death. It doesn't mean a physical death, but a spiritual one. Either we are on the path of growing, or we are on the path of atrophying. There's no such thing in life as standing still. We're either growing, or we are doing the opposite of growing. We are receding. We are losing. We don't hold on permanently to what we have, but rather we lose day by day. We, you and I, are Bamidbar. We are reflections of the desert. And we should see ourselves that way. See ourselves as a reflection of things that become hopeful and possible, that we can grow. We can do things tomorrow that we did not dream of before. We can learn things that we've not been exposed to before. We can become the vessels that continually grow and grow and grow and become well beyond anything imaginable that we can conceive of today. This is the desert of life, Bamidbar. I hope that you can see yourself, your life, as process, not looking at the end, but right smack in the middle, in the desert, wandering and searching for learning, growth, and meaning. And with that search for self in the desert, we find unimaginable treasures that will make us infinitely wealthier than we are today. And that wealth is not measured in the bank account. Something significantly larger than what is held in the bank account, but by the bank account of heaven. Shabbat Shalom.